Good morning, afternoon or evening from whenever or wherever you are watching this video from. I am Jack Adamus back with my Premier League football predictions, episode 9, game week 9 in the Premier League. Let's get straight into it. We start game week 9 with tonight's 8 PM kickoff as Leeds host West Ham. Leeds have won 2 games out of 8 so far this season, and they've drawn an additional 2, which leaves them with 8 points after 8 matches, which is 1 point worse off than they was last time they were in the Premier League, which unfortunately for them did end in relegation. West Ham could have been playing Brentford up to now, and they still wouldn't have scored. They was embarrassing on Monday night, and they do need to get a victory as soon as possible, as they have gone 5 games without a victory. The one positive for them, though, their only win this season in the Premier League did come on the road. Another positive for West Ham, they have only lost 1 of the last 9 competitive head-to-heads between these two sides. I do think Leeds will break that tonight though, as I can see Leeds getting the victory here in a 2-1 win. Moving on to Saturday at 3 PM, we travel to Stamford Bridge as we have Chelsea hosting Sunderland. Chelsea have picked up a bit of form of late and they've won their last 4 games in all competitions, 2 wins coming in the Premier League and 2 wins coming in the Champions League. They have scored 11 goals in those 4 matches and only conceded 2 in reply as well, which now means they are the second highest scorers in the league this season behind Man City. Sunderland bounced straight back from defeat to Manchester United with a solid home 2-0 victory last weekend, which now gives them their best start to a Premier League season since the 99-2000 season. The only negative for them though, they do only have 1 win in their last 7 league away matches. Unfortunately for Sunderland, they have only won 3 of the last 26 meetings between these two sides, something that will stay the same come full time, as I can see Chelsea getting the win here in a routine 2-0 victory. Also at 3 PM we have Newcastle at home to Fulham. Newcastle's league form is something that they'll know they need to sort out, as they've only got 2 wins in their last 10 league matches, 5 of which they did suffer defeat in, although they were all by a 1-goal margin. Fulham have been falling down the table recently, and they've lost their last 3 Premier League matches, and they could suffer 4 successive league defeats for the first time since April 2023. And with their injury list getting longer and longer, it could be a long afternoon for Fulham coming into this one. Fulham, though, they did do the league double over Newcastle last season, and with a fully fit squad, I reckon they could make it 3 out of 3. I think they will have to leave with just a point here, as I can see this one finishing in a 2-2 draw. And for the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday, we travel to Old Trafford, where we have in-form Manchester United at home to Brighton. Manchester United have won back-to-back league games for the first time under Ruben Amorim after that massive win at Anfield last weekend, and they have won their last 3 home league matches, all by scoring 2 or more goals in those 3 games. Brighton, though, they are on a 4-game undefeated run themselves, and they find themselves just 1 point behind Manchester United in the table. Although they have had their worst start to a season since 2020, that is a lot down to their away form. Have Manchester United and Ruben Amorim turned the corner? All United fans will hope that they have, but I think this will be a reality check here, as I can see Brighton bursting that bubble, as I can see Brighton winning here in a 2-1 victory. Then we move on to 8 PM on Saturday, where we have Brentford hosting Liverpool. Brentford came back from that defeat to Man City as they won on Monday as they battered West Ham, not in terms of the scoreline but in terms of performance. But this will be a completely different task ahead of them this weekend as they look to win back-to-back league games for the first time this season. Liverpool ended their 4-game losing streak as they got a massive victory in the Champions League on Wednesday as they won 5-1 away to Frankfurt, and they'll be looking to continue that and bring that into the league where they haven't won in their last 3 matches, and it will be a hard ask as they have lost all 4 of their last 4 visits to London. They haven't lost 5 games in a row in London since 1970. Good news though for Liverpool, they have won their last 5 games against Brentford. I think they'll make that 6 come full time as they score another 3 goals here in a 3-1 victory. Moving on to Sunday, where we have 4 games kicking off at 2 PM. We start at the Emirates as we have Arsenal at home to Crystal Palace. Arsenal continued their winning run to 6 games in all competitions with a massive win against Atletico Madrid as they beat them 4-0 on Tuesday in the Champions League. They have only conceded 1 goal in those 6 matches as well, and they have only conceded 3 goals all season in the Premier League. The last time they did that was the 98-99 season. One negative for them though, we all know what happened that season. Manchester United went on to win the treble that year, so they do know that they've still got a lot of work to do to get success this season. Palace, after going on a club record 19 games without defeat, have now gone 3 games without a victory, and they suffered a shock defeat yesterday to the hands of AEK Larnaca in the Conference League. So what a way to bounce back if they was to win here against title contenders Arsenal. Arsenal have won 6 of the last 7 head-to-heads between these two sides, the other one being a draw, and they've only lost 1 of the last 16 times these two teams have met. So I reckon Arsenal will continue that here with a routine 2-0 victory. And the second of 4 games to be kicked off at 2 p.m. on Sunday, we have Aston Villa at home to Man City. Villa are another team that suffered a shock defeat in European competition this week, which ended their 5-game winning run in all competitions, and now they will be looking to bounce straight back to winning ways. It will be a hard test for them as they do host Man City, but they have only lost 1 game at Villa Park in the last year. City, though, they'll come here full of confidence as they are on a 9-game unbeaten streak themselves with 7 wins and 2 draws in all competitions. They have won their last 3 games without conceding a single goal as well. City have only beaten Newcastle more times in the Premier League than Aston Villa. However, they haven't won in their last 3 visits to Villa Park. I do think that will change this time round though, as I can see Villa winning here in a 2-0 victory. And for the third 2 o'clock kickoff, we travel to the Vitality Stadium where we have Bournemouth at home to Nottingham Forest. Bournemouth are flying high at the moment and they're 4 points off top spot, and although they couldn't hold on to a 2-0 lead last weekend against Crystal Palace, they are now on a 7-game unbeaten run, which is their longest ever run in the competition history. Forest had the new manager bounce yesterday after going 9 games without a victory. Sean Dyche done it at the first time of trying against high-flying Porto in the Europa League. This is the earliest point in any season that a team has had 3 different managers, so it is looking like it's third time lucky for the Tricky Trees. But with Bournemouth winning 3 of their 4 home games so far this season and being undefeated in their last 10 matches against Nottingham Forest, I think the new manager bounce will be short-lived, as I can see Bournemouth getting the victory here in a 3-1 win. And for the last 2 p.m. kickoff, we travel to the Molineux where we have winless Wolves at home to Burnley. Wolves are the only team still without a win so far this season, but it won't come to a surprise to Wolves fans as it took them 11 games to get their first victory of the season last season, but on paper, this will be their easiest game so far. Burnley came out of the drop zone last weekend with a 2-0 victory over Leeds. However, unfortunately for Burnley, a massive problem for them is they have only won 2 of their last 44 Premier League matches against non-newly promoted sides. One positive for Burnley, though, is they have only lost 1 of the last 9 Premier League head-to-heads between these two sides. However, I do think that will change this time round, as I can see Wolves getting their first win of the season 3 games earlier than they did last year in a scrappy 1-0 win. And to round up Game Week 9 in the Premier League, it is the 4:30 kickoff on Sunday as Everton host Tottenham. Although there is 6 places between these two sides, it is only a 3-point gap, and although Everton's form as a whole isn't great, their form at their new stadium is brilliant as they are undefeated in their first 5 games played there, winning 3 and drawing the other 2 in all competitions. Spurs have struggled with consistency this season as they've only won 1 of their last 5 games in all competitions, and they were lucky not to suffer back-to-back defeats as they got a point away to Monaco as Vicario was man of the match and he made about 4 or 5 match-winning, or should I say match-drawing saves in that match. Everton won the last head-to-head between these two sides last season, and they will be looking to make it back-to-back wins over Tottenham for the first time since 2012, which I think they will do here, as I reckon their run at the Hill Dickinson Stadium will continue, as I can see Everton getting a victory here in a 2-1 win. And for my favourite fixture of the whole football calendar, we have the first El Clasico of the season at 3:15 on Sunday as Real Madrid host Barcelona. Real Madrid find themselves 2 points clear at the top of the table after 9 games, and they've only suffered 1 defeat so far this season, which came in the Madrid derby. Barca find themselves 2 points off Madrid at the top of the table, and they've only suffered 1 defeat themselves so far this season, which came in a thumping 4-1 away defeat to Seville 2 weeks ago. Barcelona won all 4 El Clasicos last season, 2 in the league and 2 came in cup finals, and they'll be looking to make it 5-time like Prime Booker T as they go on to win here 3-2 against Real Madrid. Forza Barça. Thank you very much if you are still here at the end of my video. I really do appreciate the love and support I've been getting from you guys. I'm nearly at that 1,000 subscribers, so I'm trying to get there by the end of the year. So please hit that subscribe button. Have a good weekend, guys. And remember, if you don't shoot, you can't score. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.